Welcome back to Military Brats Podcast.
We're your host. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Juliana. Today we're going to be talking about what it's like to join the military, featuring a special guest.
My little brother, Jordan. So let's welcome him in and talk about why he joined the military and his experience thus far. Let me add him in.
Hi!
Poppin'.
I love the hoodie like that.
Yeah. Looking good, Jordan.
Okay, well, though, for those who don't know, do you want to just give a quick little background before we dive in?
Yeah.
Background on what? My life?
Yeah, like your childhood. Like, what was it like growing up in the military?
Like, who are you? Maybe say what your name is. Like, who are you?
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
This is wild, man. I'm Jordan. Chloe's sister. Not sister. Yeah, it's only 4:00. I'm Jordan. I'm Chloe's brother. Most people know that, though, that watch this, so it's kind of funny.
Well, people that, what do you mean? There's a lot of strangers out there that watch this.
Yeah,
now they know you're my sister, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Let's dive into our childhood. We already talked about what it was like for me growing up, but what was it like for you growing up in the military?
Not much different, I'd say. Growing up, I feel like it's a lot. I think the only big difference now is that, like, growing up it's different seeing your parent go to, like, work every day in a uniform and going away and that stuff and coming home.
Yeah.
So, like, now it's a bit different because I'm going home and I'm going to work and coming back in uniform every day. So that's the only big difference.
So when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Like, did you know that you would want to go into the military? Did you have, like, a different idea?
Really, this is a question for more like my parents. Because they knew, like, I think I've always talked about, like, joining the military when I was little, and then I got older and I was like,
yeah,
I wanted to go be a chemical engineer and go be working on an auto platform. And then I didn't feel like going to college or wasting money to go in debt to go to college. So then I was like, fuck it, we'll go join the military.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you decided to go into the military?
I didn't feel like going into debt.
I thought you wanted to go into college.
I wanted to go be a chemical engineer. I wanted to go to Texas Tech.
Okay, so then why didn't you pursue that, actually?
There's this thing called debt. I didn't really like it. Didn't really like the idea of going to debt, so...
Yeah. But, I mean, didn't you have, like, part of the GI Bill, too?
Yeah, yes and no. I sort of gave up 2 years of that for my sister up there on the top of the screen.
I know, but I did the same thing. Like, I only had 2 years of it, too. And so did Chloe, so...
Yeah,
we still had, like,
2 years on it. She already had 2 years, but she would have had to pay for the rest of her 2, but I gave her the rest. I gave her 2 and took the...
You just took one for the team, which I am very grateful for. I'll say this now. I am very grateful that you decided to give me all of it instead of making me split it with you, because I would be way more in debt than I am now. So I am grateful. Well, for those who don't know, do you want to explain the GI Bill then while we're on this topic?
Not everyone. I actually just got my letter for the GI Bill today.
Oh, yay. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So the GI Bill is pretty much, so after 24 months time in service, you get your GI Bill, your post 9/11. And it's pretty much just like a thing that the military, you can get from the military. It's benefits for college. It can go to your spouse or your children. I just told Alyssa today that I'm giving her my GI Bill because I'm not going to go to college. So it's pretty much just a benefit. You get tuition assistance. I think you get your tuition.
You get like a BAH.
Stipend for books. If you're active duty, you don't get BAH. So, like, if she waited to use it when I got out, then she'd get it. But she's going to use it while I'm in Washington. So it's pretty much just benefits for college.
No, that makes sense. And for those listening, me and Juliana, we were able to use our stepdads. They gave it to us. So we lucked out.
Yeah, I was also, like, kind of in the same boat as Chloe and Jordan, where I had to split it with my siblings. So it was either gonna be split between me, my sister, and my brother. But then my sister went into the military, so now it's just split between me and my brother. So I got 2 years for it, and then my brother's gonna get 2 years for it.
Decided to go the military route. Did you have a plan B?
There really was no plan B. I originally just was like, I wanted to go to Texas Tech, to go be a chemical engineer, like I said, to go work on oil platforms out in the middle of the ocean. That's what I wanted to do. And then they said that I'd have to split it, and I was like, well, there's no point in doing that.
Yeah, but I think there's still a point in doing it, though. Like,
Yeah, I
some
agree.
assistance is better than no
So
assistance.
depending on the job you get, I feel like it's really dependent upon. But for me, I don't really at this point feel the need to go to
Yeah.
college. Like my job has pretty good job security, so like I'm not really worried about it, civilian sector or staying in the military. So
There's a part of
the
you
plan
miss
B,
that. Go ahead.
the plan B was pretty much just at this point, fuck it, might as well just go join the military. Ain't no reason not to.
Do you wish you went to college? Realistically.
Sometimes, like some days, it's like I'm just annoyed. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
100%. But I feel like I don't think there's any person that's not been in the military that's like, I probably should have just went to college. But you can ask anybody; they'll probably all say the same thing. Because I know.
I agree. I think you would have had a great time in college, though.
Yeah, you would have.
College
College I think college is more for the experience than anything else. If I'm gonna be honest, that's just my take on it, though.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are just paying to get a name on a piece of paper.
We are.
Yeah, that's totally true. We're not denying that.
You're trying to dotted line and get an education
but
too.
like realistically, like there's only so many routes you can do in the military. Like Juliana couldn't have gone into the military and became a teacher. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't have done my advertising and public relations in the military. So I just think we are very limited to like the things you can do.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a teacher, but it really wouldn't help you out in the long term. Because like we have here, I have instructors that are pretty much just SMEs, subject matter experts, in what they're teaching. So, but that only really benefits you in the civilian sector. Like if you're going to go back into the same job field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But do you think growing up in the military impacted your decision? Did it make it easier joining?
Joining the Navy, it definitely impacted my decision because I wanted to go join the Marine Corps. Because I was like, well, fuck it. My parents are Marines. Might as well go do that. And I got a giant no. And
Who?
From my dad and my mom. They
Which
both told me no.
Which is weird because we are Marine Corps brats, all three of us. We are Marine Corps brats. So
I know.
That's interesting.
I know for myself, my parents wanted me to go into the Marine Corps for sure. I was like, no. Like, what?
No.
Mom and dad both said, you're too smart. And then my dad took me to the Air Force. They didn't answer the door, so I talked to the Navy for 10 minutes and then said, fuck it, I'm joining the Navy.
That's how it went for you? You just went and you just did it?
Yeah, that was it. I went home and was like, all right, I'm joining the Navy, and that was it.
Was there like any more to that process? Like, how was talking to the recruiter?
I really didn't talk much to the recruiter. It was more or less just like, yeah, I think that was just about it. Like, I didn't know any jobs that were in the Navy. I didn't know much about it. I didn't know my job that I was going to be until after till boot camp. So.
Okay, so then what was the role the ASVAB played in this?
So the ASVAB it's pretty much like common. It's like common core stuff almost. I feel like it doesn't really help. I feel like it's pretty redundant because like you still have people that score really high on the ASVAB, and you have people that score really low on the ASVAB. And people that score really high, I feel like sometimes I've seen people that score really high but lack common sense, and people that score really low are just aren't very good at taking tests but are pretty smart. But for me, when I took the ASVAB, I scored really low for like what my job is. I got a 43, which I scored really high on my line score. So like how it breaks it down for job wise, it goes off your line score. So you have your math, English, word knowledge, and then you've got science, and then you had a couple more like electronic and mechanical, and that was about it. And then they take those line scores and divvy them up into what you can get a job in.
Oh, interesting. It sounds very similar to like the SATs,
Yeah.
but a little bit more
Yeah,
advanced.
it's almost like this.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so interesting.
Okay, so but you scored low in what you're doing now.
So typically, from what I've seen for what my job is, I'm on the pretty low spectrum of it for like what
Yeah.
what I should have been. But I scored 47 on the ASVAB, but I got my line scores added up perfectly enough to get this job without having to get a waiver. I think I did pretty good on it.
So what's like the purpose of the ASVAB? Is it just to like?
I feel like the ASVAB. I think the ASVAB should get like a revamp. I feel like it hasn't changed much because from what I've heard from people like my instructors, the ASVAB hasn't changed in the last 20 years since they've been in. But the purpose of the ASVAB is pretty much just to see how like your aptitude test, how smart you are, and what you can do.
Okay.
And then they just take those numbers and be like, they'll just plug them into the system, and it'll be like, okay, well, you can get these jobs.
Oh,
that's actually really interesting. I'm curious though, like, what do you remember about the day you enlisted? How did you feel?
Enlisted? So like the first time I went to MEPS or the day I shipped out to boot camp?
Both.
Yeah, like what's the difference?
All of it.
So the first time I went to MEPS, so the first time you go to MEPS, it's more or less just you take the ASVAB the first day, and that's what I did. I took the ASVAB the first day. It was me and Ian who took the ASVAB. And then you'll do that the first day, and then you go back to the hotel, they take you back, and then you just chill out and do whatever. And then the second day, you wake up about 4:35 a.m. You go to the off, you go back to MEPS, and then that's when you do all your medical stuff. So they'll do your medical screening, and I think that day there's like a whole bunch of other stuff. You got to go to medical, get checked, and then they take you down and they sit you down with a counselor person, and that's when they pick your job, and then you'll pick your day that you ship out to boot camp.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, is it true that I don't know how to ask this, that whole bus situation, when you get off the bus, are you able to turn away after? Can you still say no after you like get off that bus and everything? Do you know what I'm talking about?
For boot camp?
Yeah. Like, are you able to like, once you get off, like, actually, I don't want to, because I've always heard such conflicting like tales about that.
From my experience, I haven't seen I didn't see anybody try to turn away, because like you just get there. Like I think we pulled in at around like 12:30 at night. 1 o'clock at night we pulled in. And how RTC is set up is there's two sides of RTC. So like the processing side is on the smaller side, and that's where we pulled up to this bus, and they just run you into this big hallway, and they just make you in like lines, and that's where they make you make your call to your parents, and then after you go to the rest of your processing. So I didn't see anybody that did that. I didn't hear about you being able to just turn around, so I don't know.
Were you scared?
I wouldn't say I was scared. I was just more or less confused. I was sleeping before I got woken up and told to get off the bus.
You're just dazed and confused.
Oh my god.
Was anyone else around you scared? Do you think?
Yeah, was there like anyone crying?
Like what was the emotions like? Like, I'm actually curious.
I feel like when we first got there, it was more or less just everybody was confused, but I think it was like there was definitely a few people that were like upset and distraught. Like they're getting yelled at probably like for the first time in their life. So I feel like some people were upset.
Yeah.
But it really didn't feel any different. It's just normal.
You were like, it's just like every day for me. I get yelled at all the time.
Oh my god.
Like it was just one short chief that was yelling at everybody to like do stuff, and I was just okay.
Oh my god. Okay, so what was boot camp like? Like, how did it feel leaving your family? Because I know you only like get to call your family like on certain times. How was that like, and how did it feel?
So the first phone call you get, like when I think it was like week 2, so 2 tac 3, so it was 2 sat, so it was the second week, the first phone call. So it's pretty much that first. It was the first one. So I think that first 2 weeks, the first week is you have ROM, or like the beginning, the processing. So that I think boot camp was 8 weeks for me. So the first week, you sit there, you do all your processing, you check in everything, and get your CAT card and all that other stuff. And then once that first week goes away, then you actually start boot camp, and that's when they'll march you to the ship that you go to for the barracks. And I think I was on ship 11, the USS Kearsarge, which is this is like the farther parts of the base. So that first week I feel like was pretty different. Getting adjusted to that whole waking up and getting yelled at for nothing. You can just wake up and get yelled at for no reason.
Wow.
How do you think your experience differ from like mom and dad being in the Marine Corps?
Mom and dad were in the Marine Corps, so I feel like it was a lot different. I feel like theirs is a lot harsher. It's also longer. I believe now it's for them it's like 13 to 14 weeks. For us, I had an 8-week boot camp, but soon after I left, like soon after I think I graduated, they changed to a 10-week boot camp.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I think theirs is definitely a lot more difficult and a lot more mentally grueling than the Navy's. I feel like the Navy was pretty easy.
You think so? Well, like what kind of stuff did you do? Like, can you tell a day in your life in boot camp? Like from the moment you woke up to the moment you go to bed.
So typically, depending on the day, so like for during the normal weekdays and Saturdays, so like Monday through Saturday, it was pretty much the same shit every day. You wake up, depending on what we had for the schedule for that day. So if we had something early, like we'd go to bed earlier the night before, but typically we'll be up at like Reveille's at like 07, 06, depending on the schedule for the day. Then we'd have pretty much the morning times to get ready, brush your teeth, shave, that stuff. And then we'd go down for chow. So we'll go to the galley for about 20, 30 minutes. And then we'd go back up to the compartment, clean for about an hour, which was morning routine. And then we would sit around, do whatever we had to do until we'd go. So like some days we'd have to go to classes. So I don't remember what they're called now, but there's some weird classes you have to go to. They pretty much talk to you about military life and what to expect and what you're going to be doing. And then come home, go to lunch, and then a little bit more cleaning. And then we'd probably do a little bit of marching. Some days we'd go out and march, and then we'd go to another class, or if we had something like firefighter training or stuff like that, we'd go to that, and then we'd come back, probably sit around for about an hour, cleaning some more. It's pretty much all we did.
Clean. You must be an amazing cleaner now.
I felt like boot camp was just sitting around cleaning and doing nothing. Cleaning. And then we do evening routine, and then we'd eat an evening routine, and then go to bed, and then wake up the next morning and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, that definitely does not sound like mom and dad's experience at all. Was the chow good?
Boot camp food to me, I felt like wasn't terrible. I didn't like the eggs. That was like the only like the lunch and dinner were really good. Like I never had a problem with lunch and dinner there.
But
breakfast sort of sucked because it was more or less just like they take this like powdery egg and they pour water in it and they shake it up and then they warm it up. So it's like think of like Jello eggs.
Ew.
That sounds like really gross.
Not at all.
Okay, so then what are some core memories from boot camp? Like, do you have any funny stories?
I got beat a lot in boot camp for fun.
What? Like, like you got hit?
No, not like that. So like we call it beating, but it's more or less like they pretty much make you do like stupid exercises.
Oh,
that
like
just
burpees.
like grueling. Yeah, I don't remember what they call it. It was they used to have these cards. They're blue cards, and they had like exercise like things that they can make you do on them. So it was like burpees, push-ups, side like you lay on your side and lift your one leg at a time. Those sucked. But I did that a lot. So like I'd get bored, and so I'd purposely piss off specifically.
Oh my god.
Petty Officer Nichols. I still talk to him today. He's actually a really cool guy. He just made chief, but he used to beat the brakes off me all the time just for fun.
Well,
I just get bored.
Was it really for fun, or were you running your mouth?
No, it was for fun. I'd purposely find ways to get beat. Because you got to think about it.
Oh my god.
When you're sitting there doing nothing, I'd rather be doing something than nothing. So if I can get beat for an hour, I just killed an hour out of 24 hours.
You're so silly. Okay, so all you did was clean and get beat in the military in the boot camp. That's interesting.
That's pretty much all it was.
Did you have any time to have fun, like ever?
On Sundays we had fun. So like my typical Sunday when I was in boot camp was we'd wake up, we'd obviously do our morning routine, come back clean, and then we'd go get breakfast, and then come back, and then typically we had morning holiday routine as they call it. It was every Sunday. You had about 4 hours, 3 hours to go, and you could pretty much sit in the compartment, do whatever you wanted. You could write letters. I wrote some letters before I'd go to church, and then I'd go to the church and do that for about an hour, and then come back. That's pretty much the only time we had to our own.
Did you meet any like people you still talk to?
Nobody from my division I still talk to, so not really. The only person I talk to is my my instructor. So that was it. This was just petty off time. I still talk to him. That's about it.
Well, during this experience, obviously we are military children. Did you find it was harder for your peers to like adapt with everything going on? Did you find it easier?
I feel like some people like went there not thinking about what they're signing up for, because the first week I felt like we had a lot of people fail out and try to like claim mental issues to get out of it because they just couldn't understand it or couldn't take it, which it really wasn't that bad. Like I felt like it was the easiest thing I've probably ever done.
Well, I think it's because the way we grew up. Like we said, I don't think it's that easy. Also, do you think it's false advertised like before joining? Sometimes do they tell you, like recruiters tell you?
I felt like, oh yeah, the recruiters lie to you like there's no business. I feel like my recruiter didn't really help me much. Like I didn't get a letter from him in boot camp. I haven't talked to him since I left that day.
Oh.
So that was like 2 years ago now. I haven't talked to that dude. I don't even know where he's at now. I feel like it's definitely like you have to take everything they say with a grain of salt. I don't like every time they say something, you just gotta think about it, because I feel like for me, I really didn't care much because I didn't even know my job. I just went to the MEPS, got my job, and was like, cool, this is what I'm doing. And I didn't know what it was until halfway through boot camp. So you just got to take what they say with a grain of salt and talk to multiple people to figure it out.
I mean, that makes sense. I guess it's not for the weak. Realistically, it's not for the weak. Wait, before we move on, do you think Juliana and I could be in the military? Like, actually?
No.
What do you mean, no? Tell us why.
You have no faith in us?
Well, I really don't know much about Juliana. So like, other than like me as a kid, I knew her. But like you cry and get like upset and just break down anytime somebody yells at you. So like that, and you don't like doing stupid shit.
No.
So you're just fucked off the bat, because like I can't tell you how many times I just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I could compete all the time.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it either.
It doesn't happen now. Like now, I don't really do much. I just go to class and come back.
Yeah. I just think like boot camp was probably like the worst of it, and I don't think I would be able to do boot camp. Like people yelling at me just for no reason. That just
they're like yelling at you to get up. You're cleaning. No, I'm like, why? Like, why do I have to clean? Why do I have to?
Like, I'm already cleaning. Don't yell at me more. Like, I'm already doing what you told me to do.
I'm already on my knees. What do you want?
They want you to adapt to being able to do what you're told and not like question it. I feel like that's what it was.
Oh, adapting and overcoming.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like, if you're getting told to do something, they want you to just do it, not question it.
Does the Navy have a motto? Like, I know like certain branches have a motto. Like, I know like URA and like Semper Fi's, like the Marine Corps. Does the Navy have anything like that?
They do, but I don't feel like going into it.
No, well,
I don't like it.
No, do it.
You should definitely tell us.
It's really just a spin-off of the Marine Corps. That's all it is.
Oh, well, then like, what is it?
Nobody ever says it, so I don't know. I know what it is, but I don't feel like going over it.
You're so contradicting. You just said you knew it.
I know it, but I'm not going to do it. It's not like... No, because some other branches have like cool ones, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know I joined the stupidest branch.
Motto.
Yeah, it's that.
Oh my god, I have the lame motto. That's funny.
My job's got a pretty cool motto. That's about it.
Well, what's your job's motto?
If it floats or flies, it sinks and dies.
Oh, that's
a good one.
What do you mean? That is a good one.
That's my job. That's not the Navy, though.
Well, that is a good one. Okay.
That's a good one.
So how did you imagine the military life before you joined? Did your perception change over the last few years?
Before I joined, I really didn't up until the day I left for boot camp. I really didn't question boot camp. Like I didn't think about it. I just did whatever I wanted to do. And then I left and then came here. But I think now looking at it, I feel like it's not as bad. Like when I first got to Great Lakes, I felt like I thought it was pretty cool, and then I was like, okay, this sucks. But now that I just hit my 2 years, 2 weeks ago, I just hit my 2 year mark. I think now it's not as bad. I just think I just wish people would do at least the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of getting fucked up over people not doing what they're supposed to, and they just punish everybody as a whole. So.
No, that makes sense.
I think that, yeah.
So what has the last 2 years looked like for you? You just said you hit your 2 year mark.
My last 2 years, not really been that cool compared to some people's 2 year mark in the military. I started off in Great Lakes for just about a year and some change, going through the FC pipeline for school. And then I was there till January of this year, and then came here, and now I'm about to graduate. I graduate next Monday after finally about 2 years of school just to get my NEC for this stuff. So finally about to get my NEC, and then I got to go back to Great Lakes for another school for a month, and then I hit my ship.
That is crazy. So what is your job in the Navy? Because
I'm an FC, FCA specifically, but I'm a spy tech, so pretty much work on and manage a radar system on cruisers and destroyers, but I'm attached to a DDG,
so technical. So 2 years of school for this job. What does that process look like? How has school been?
I feel like the first school I had to go through was ATT. I feel like that one was pretty redundant. It doesn't really matter for me.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just getting you used to little things like basic understanding and basic knowledge of circuit cards, resistors, certain aspects of computers and electrical shit. It's electrical engineering stuff. I think that was pointless for that, the 12 weeks of that or 13 weeks of that was pretty pointless. I think that school didn't really matter. I don't really use anything from that school, but I understand everything that I look at a little bit better with it now. I understand what certain things are doing.
Right.
And then I went through the FCA school. That wasn't bad. I just pretty much learned about all things that an FC could be. So all the jobs that you can do as an FC. Mm-hmm. And then I came here to Dahlgren going to school for spy tech.
That's so technical.
Yeah, and that's a lot of schooling too.
No, that's a lot of school. So what was your school schedule like?
For me, school sucks because not now. It's not as bad. I'm just used to it every day. It doesn't really matter. In Great Lakes, it sucked. Here it still sucked a little bit, but Great Lakes, when I went to ATT, I was on nights, so I went to school at around 16 to about 11 at night, so 23. Then go home, and then if I had duty, if it was my duty day, then I'd go home and stand watch, and then go to sleep or wake up and go to watch early in the morning. And then for A school, I was on nights. So yeah, nights again. And then I was up at Stanford, pretty much scheduled for 16 to 8, 16 to 9, and then I go home.
So why do you think they made you go to school in the middle of the night?
So I was here. Here I went through school on mids, which I went to school at 11:45 till 8 in the morning. It's just pretty much scheduling. So they're trying to push as many people through here as much as they can, and they still have got to help. Pretty much push. There's 3 different kinds of people, schools they have here. So you have NECs wise. So you have AC&T, and then you got FCS, and then you got SPY. But on top of that, we have a lot of officers that come through here that need to learn about our systems and learn about AWS and figure all that stuff out. Mm-hmm. So us being enlisted and also lower in rank, we pretty much just get tossed for everything.
That just sounds awful. I literally can't even imagine going to school in the middle of the night and do it learning what you're learning. I am not capable of that at all.
I know.
So I give you props. Yeah. And not only that, you're also managing a relationship. So let's talk about that too. On top of that, you're also married. So let's
Yep.
go a little bit back in time. When and how did you meet Alyssa, your wife?
I met her when I left California. So I first got to Texas, and then met her at, I think, school orientation. Oddly enough, met her 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's been together for a long time. Because how old are you? We never talked about this. How old are you?
Yeah.
I am 20 years old.
And how old is Alyssa?
19.
You guys are
Turns
little.
20 November 5th.
So what age did you meet? How old were you?
I was 16. She was 15.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It just boggles my mind. And now you're married. Lived in Texas, but because I do know you, you guys did do long distance prior to you even joining the military. Do you think that distance made it easier for you going into boot camp in that transition?
I don't really think like it didn't. I mean, it helped, but it didn't really worry me that much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, regardless, like what can I do at the end of the day? I'm gonna do. I can't just walk away from this. So
Yeah.
regardless, it was gonna be there.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
Yeah.
I don't think it helped, but it didn't affect it too much because I already knew like going into it like how it was gonna be. So
Do you think it was
I
harder?
think
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
you can repeat.
I was gonna say, do you think it was harder on her?
I do think it was harder on her than me because she didn't know what was going on, and she just knew that she'd hear from me and get letters every day and figure out when things were going on. So I feel like that was it.
So why did you guys decide to get married?
I felt as if this is actually a big question. I felt like I didn't know where I was gonna end up and where I was gonna be going after boot camp, but I knew that I'd been with her for so long, I would love to marry her. So that option. It was better off if I got married. I could also be with her forever anyway. So that's what I chose because it's better than if I got overseas orders, being having to call somebody from across the world. So
because she can't go with you, right? If you're not married, I guess that makes it a little bit more challenging.
If you're not married, the military doesn't care. They don't even acknowledge that.
That makes sense if you think about it. It's just like a girlfriend. It's like
it's a girlfriend.
They're not. Why would they support like someone that's not like actually like in your family? You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense. I agree.
Kind of dependent. So.
Yep.
But do you think joining the military impacted your relationship?
It definitely did. It's not. I feel like it's definitely a huge change because like now I'm not on my own time. Like I first of all have to do what I'm supposed to do and like do all my obligations before I can do anything with my personal life. So like it's a lot harder, especially like with duty. You have to plan stuff around like I don't plan stuff around my days around like being able to do stuff. I plan stuff around work. So that's about it.
Interesting. Do you think if you didn't join the military, you guys would have waited a little bit longer?
I would, yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, so now that we talked about your relationship, we are curious, like, in your opinion, what are the pros and cons of the military?
Pros and cons of the military? Do you want my honest opinion or my
be
opinion?
Brutally honest.
You're honest.
The pros and cons, I feel like the pros, I mean, obviously you're getting paid, like regardless, you're getting a paycheck. You get an education depending on your job. So like if you choose a pretty good job, you'll get a really good education and you'll get a lot of on-the-job experience, which translates really good to the civilian sector. Mm-hmm. Plus you get benefits. You have your health care and your insurance, life insurance and stuff. So I feel like that's beneficial. The cons though, I feel like the cons are definitely there. Like for me, at least for the last 2 years, I feel like there's times where like you definitely do not want to like exist on the planet. Your mental state really will tank really quickly at certain places. But that's pretty much like the only real con I have is that, and I hate how sometimes how the Navy runs things. But at the end of the day, I can't do anything about it. So,
well, you did mention that like sometimes you go through like you go through some like depression essentially. How do you get through that? Like what are the outlets you use to get through those like rocky periods?
What what on paper answer do we want here?
I'd just be
Any
honest.
answer.
Like obviously like it's not easy and like we want the nitty-gritty. Oh, that's what gets you through? You're like, I just need a Corona today?
Yeah.
Well,
That's a big one. I know a lot of people, so like for my buddies, some of my buddies are big on going to the gym. I got into running for a while.
Yeah.
I used to run all the time. Now, like after I got off mids, like I've been living the gym. I'm not really. I wake up every day happy. I'm not pissed off. I don't want to jump off a cliff. So
oh
that.
good.
I'm happy
But
for you.
some people take it differently. But everybody's different, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Like some people definitely have a lot bigger mental problems than I do.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, since you like brought up the whole alcohol thing, I know there's like the big argument of that people in the military, their drinking age should be lowered. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think so. This is a tough one because I understand the whole 21 age limit because since I've been in, like I've seen several people have a lot of problems with like drinking problems. Whether they're above age or underage, I feel like drinking issues are still there. I think people just they lowered the drinking age, we'd still have a lot of problems with like alcohol related incidents, ARIs, DUIs, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, we still have the same things without it. But I do believe in if I can sign up and die for my country at 18, I should be able to drink.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
But in like certain countries, so like I got buddies that are going over to different parts of the world, different places, and sometimes we follow their drinking ages. So you can have a person that's 18 go to a different country, and that's the age that they can drink at. They can drink there.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense.
That makes sense.
I think that's something that should be addressed, though. It makes sense. Why am I fighting for my country and yet I can't drink? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. So you can send me to war at 18, but I can't have a fucking beer at 18. Like, make it make
And
sense, please.
And you're also like when you're in the military, you're allowed to buy like nicotine products at the age of 18. So if they've lowered that age for nicotine,
Yeah.
why can't they do it for alcohol?
I mean,
The federal age limit for nicotine is 21. So like I still can't technically buy nicotine. But so there's like a weird thing with the whole nicotine policy, and that's like federal level. So like when they first implemented it in a 20 so you have to be 21 to buy nicotine, but you can have possession of it at 18 and younger. You can consume it, but you only have to be 21 to buy it. So like if I got picked up with having nicotine, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I mean, I'm sure I could get in some trouble. Someone will make a problem of it. But if I got caught at 18, 19, 20 before I turned 21 with alcohol, I could definitely get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I think it's risky no matter what. I mean, it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Even for someone that is 21, it's risky. Well, if you did not join the military, what do you think you'd be doing instead? Like, where would you be right now at 20 if you did not join the military?
That's a really tough one because I have a really like strong passion for cars. So I love cars. I wouldn't mind like if I didn't join the military, I would love to get into cars, but I want to go do like blue collar stuff. So I'd much rather probably like one of my buddies wants to go do like want to be a lineman. That sounds pretty fun. I wouldn't mind it. But probably be in college, go to school for chemical engineering.
God, I can't even like think about engineering. If just engineering, it just hurts my head.
How long do you plan on staying in the military? Are you just gonna do your 4 years and you're out, or you're gonna stay for as long as you can?
So I don't have a 4-year contract. I signed a 6-year contract. With 2 inactive, so I technically have an 8-year contract. But I was talking with my mother and my wife last couple weeks. I'm probably gonna re-enlist for a 2-year. Well, at my right before my 4-year mark. So about 2 years from now, I'm gonna re-enlist, drop to Ed 4. So I'm gonna end up doing a solid 8 years active, and then I'll probably stay reservist until I make a retirement.
Yeah, good plan.
What's next after that?
Like in general, like what's next for you? Like we're curious.
I got orders to Everett, Washington. That's where I'm headed. I'm gonna be a spy tech on there, so it'll be pretty fun.
No, it sounds
That's
fun.
exciting.
I know Juliana lives in Washington. You guys are going to be neighbors. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be like literally like an hour away. We'd hang
Yeah,
out.
we can be neighbors in.
You don't even
I
have a
gotta
watch on.
I gotta go on a deployment here soon, so I'll be back after that.
How are you preparing for that?
I've waited 2 years to do my job, so
Yeah.
Do you
I
feel
guess at this
ready?
point I've heard about. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So at this point, I'm ready to just get it over with. I've been waiting 2 years to do it, so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what to ask you about that. I don't even want to.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
I don't want to
feeling
go. I don't know how
prepared?
deep. I don't. Yeah. I'm like. I don't know how deep I should get with you with that because I know it's like that's a touchy thing.
Yeah. Well, do you like
I
at least
can't.
feel prepared?
Yeah, it's whatever. It ain't that bad.
Why are you lying? You don't feel anything?
Well, so like I grew up with dad. Like I'm not really worried about my deployment. I know what other people are gonna go through.
Well, are
Like
you
for
worried
me, it's
about
not.
Alyssa?
She'll be fine. She's got family.
Oh my god. Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. I won't be
Okay.
fine.
She has a. I mean, obviously, like anybody else, like she's gonna be upset, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Do you think
there's enough family around her, so.
Do you think you have like a better state of mind because you're going to be on a ship and not like on the front line?
I wouldn't say that I have a better state of mind. Like I know what I at this point for my job, I know what can take me out, and I know there's a lot of things that can fuck me up. So
Yeah.
my peace of mind isn't really there. It's more or less just like every day you just wake up glad to be there. So I don't know. I think going into deployment coming up, I'm not too worried about it. It'll be what it is. I'm not gonna stress it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't change it. So I guess that's a good that is a good state of mind. Like you can't change it, so you might as well just embrace it happening.
Yeah. Somebody with a higher pay grade above me is telling me what to do, so I ain't gonna worry about it.
I have a question for like your station. Did you pick Everett or did the Navy pick that for you?
So so everybody in my class that got orders before me all chose the East Coast, and I chose West Coast, but I had my preferences on Everett specifically. And there's orders available. So there's one order, one mail billet to Hawaii, one mail billet to Washington, and then one to San Diego, and a few more on the East Coast. And gladly enough, I got Everett, so I sort of chose over getting anything else.
Yeah, well, why did you want to choose Everett?
I got family there. My grandparents live there, and I love my papa, so and my grandma. But I wanted to be close to them.
Well, so, it's good that you like thought of Alyssa in the process. Like you're not going to be around, and like she don't want her to be alone, and that's really
So I chose Everett based on one. I don't like California. They have a lot of EPA restrictions, so I can't get a nice loud ass diesel, so I can't do that. So Everett was the only option for me on the West Coast, but it was closer to family versus anywhere on the East Coast. So I was like, you know what, Everett's probably the best bet, so I chose for that and hoped for it.
Yeah.
So when are you moving there?
I graduate on October 3rd, and then I go to TACTO till November 20th, and then I'll head to Washington, but my wife is going to be heading there next week.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. What's the housing situation looking like?
Right now we don't know.
Oh, that's crazy. That is like terrifying.
It's going to be staying at Papa's house for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get some good food.
That's what I'm saying.
It'll be fine.
Food. Like, nobody can beat free food.
No,
it's good food because Grandma can cook.
No, it's like good free food. Count me in. They're like really hospitable people, so Alyssa will be fine.
Yeah, she
will. Yeah, she'll be great.
She'll be great.
Yeah, maybe I'll go visit Alyssa and I can meet her for the first time.
Yeah, I know. You need to go meet Alyssa. You haven't even met her yet.
My dog will be there too.
And your dog, and our dogs can play together.
Oh my god.
My dog bodies everything.
Yeah, I was like, his dog will kill Pepper. Pepper's tiny compared to their dog.
Pepper is really small, but she likes to play. She's super fast, so if your dog can even catch Pepper's really fast.
I got a lab, so I don't know.
I was like, I don't know.
Battle of the Dogs. Battle of the
Battle
Dogs.
of the Dogs. Oh my goodness.
Peaches is winning. Does it have floppy ears?
Pepper? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
want to
it's
see
over.
her?
If
I'll
she'll
get her
attack
right
her
now.
Alright,
ears,
go grab Pepper really quick.
Okay. We'll see. I'll see where she is.
I can grab Peaches.
Yeah, go grab Peaches. Let's show the dogs. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my god. That's really funny.
so scared.
Okay, well, now that we showed our dog, or your dogs, I don't have a dog. Anyways, okay, Jordan, do you think now that you're like in the military world, do you think you resonate with mom and dad way more? Like, do you like?
Like it's easier to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I have more understanding and I have more like gratitude for them, especially dad and mom. I can't say I understand everything they went through, especially dad, but I can understand some of it. So like I understand like certain things. So yeah, I'd say yeah.
Yay.
How do you feel about people that talk down on the military?
Ooh.
They probably work a 9 to 5 and get paid minimum wage. So
Well, we are so glad we got to hear about your experience thus far. Is there anything else you want to share or add while we're talking about your time in?
ain't much to it. I've only been in for a little bit. I ain't visited no places yet, so
I mean, I think
maybe after deployment we can talk about it.
yeah, we'll have to have you back on after your deployment and hear about your experience with that. But thank you again. But we did want to do a little trivia, a military trivia, to see if you know your stuff.
Go for it.
Okay. There's Goose, Jester, Hollywood, and Wolfman. They're all nicknames from a military movie from
Top
1986.
Gun.
Yeah.
Next one. Semper Fidelis, Latin for always faithful, was adopted as the motto of which U.S. military service in 1833?
They're not really a military service. They're a cult. It's called the Marine Corps.
Cool. What is the only branch of the U.S. military to share a name with a best-selling line of Nike sneakers?
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, that's what she said too, but this one like makes sense.
That's
Okay.
what I said. It does make sense. I'll ask it again. What is the only branch of the military to share a name with a line of Nike sneakers? They're super
Probably-
popular.
What is it, the Air Force?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the most well-known military acronyms that's made its way into civilian speak. What does AWOL stand for?
You're fucking missing.
No, that's not what it stands for. Like SOS.
AWOL, you're missing.
No.
Yeah, but like you know which letter, like what letter stands for what word?
like AWOL.
AWOL?
AWOL.
AWOL.
I don't know. I've only thought of it as something like this.
It's absent without official leave.
Yeah,
So
you're
yeah,
fucking
you are
missing.
missing.
I mean, are you really missing? Okay, so like,
Yeah,
okay,
you're gone. Like, so you're like UA.
like they just
Yeah.
can't find you because you didn't get permission.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
MIA
you're just
missing
missing.
in action.
No, that's MIA, but
That's what I just said.
AWOL is like you're just missing. Like you're not where you're supposed to be. Nobody can get a hold of you. And
Yeah.
AWOL is typically after 30 days. So like UA
Cool.
is up until 27 days, and then once you get listed as AWOL, the government won't try to find you. But if you get pulled over or stopped anywhere, they will take you in.
Oh wow.
Interesting. Where do you go? Where do they put you?
They'll take you to the nearest military post nearby,
Okay.
and then they'll ship you from wherever that is back to where you're supposed to be, and then you'll get punished under the UCMJ.
What? And for those who don't know, what is that?
UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So it's like
Oh,
it's like a prison or jail, military jail.
No, so it's like they're articles. So like you pretty much get charged. So it's like a military court. It's different than court martial. So court martial is like an actual like military judge, and you can get some trouble for that if you go there. But you'll pretty much get charged on your chain of command. So you'll go talk to you go to DRB, which is pretty much a giant room of chiefs that will yell at you. I've heard of it being sometimes they don't yell at you, but most of the time I've heard of you just getting yelled at and shoot out. And then you'll go to XOI, which will talk to the XO, and the XO will pretty much try to get an understanding of what's going on. And could yell at you, could not. Really depends. And then it'll be up to him to do like same thing with DRB to figure out whether you should go up the chain to see what your punishment's going to be. And usually, if you go to XOI, you'll probably go to mast, and that's when you'll lose rank.
Oh
And
wow.
That sounds like a whole process.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense if you're considered AWOL, what you said after 30 days. That's missing
Typically
for a long
AWOL, you'll typically at that point of when you go AWOL, you'll just request for separations. So then they'll just kick you out.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like discharged.
Yep.
Dishonorably though?
Dishonor.
So from what I've seen, so like I have a few buddies that went AWOL.
Oh
That I
really?
knew back in Great Lakes. A lot of them didn't get dishonorable. They just got other than honorable or honorable and just got kicked out. Because Great Lakes is a training command, so you just pretty much get there and you just go to school. So they're not really trying to treat you that bad. But like in the fleet, if you were to go like AWOL and you're out in the fleet, you're more than likely going to get a dishonorable.
Oh, for sure. Okay. Our last one is, what North Carolina military base, home to 260,000 people and more than 50,000 active servicemen, is the world's largest base?
Norfolk? Is it not Norfolk? Norfolk's in Virginia. What is it?
It's an army.
Oh, Army base?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah.
What, Fort Bragg or some shit?
Yeah, that's the largest base.
The largest military base?
Yeah, I want to say it's the largest military base. I hope I'm not wrong, but I want to say it is. I didn't even know that. Where did you think it was? Because me and Juliana were like, we did not think the largest base was Fort Bragg.
I didn't know. I was just assuming. So, like,
yeah,
I know Norfolk is the biggest naval base.
Oh.
When I heard the biggest naval base, when I heard the biggest base, I was like, what, Norfolk? So we got some big ass ships, but it would make sense.
Okay, so you got 4 out of 5. I guess you kind of know what you're talking about.
When it comes
to what? You got all of them.
No,
AWOL, I got AWOL right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about AWOL.
Fine, I guess you were right. 5 out of 5. You do know what you're talking about. Okay, well that wraps up our game and our episode. Thank you for coming on and telling us about your experience.
Y'all take care. Have fun.
You too. Bye, Jordan. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. Love y'all.
Love you.
Love ya.
All right. Well, with that being said, we hope you liked today's episode. If you aren't already, follow us on all of our platforms, Instagram, Spotify, and or Apple Podcast.
And like always, if you have any questions or want to hear anything specific from us, make sure you DM us on Instagram at Military Brats Podcast. Thank you so much.